about my Ancestry DNA kit and results. So this is a very exciting thing for me. I think everybody kind of just wants to know a little bit more about their history and their heritage and their background and stuff like that. I just took the chance and I just got the kit. I waited until there was like a sale, so it was 10% off. I think it was like $89.99 instead of $99.99, so I did get a little bit of a deal. I did use Ancestry.com's DNA kit. I know there are others, and I probably will eventually do the others like 23andMe and the National Geographic, National Genographic one, or whatever it's called. I'll probably end up doing one of those eventually, but I just wanted to kind of start with that one because I know that was the easiest one, and I just wanted to, you know, just start small. I ordered the kit June 19th. The kit was shipped to me June 21st. I activated the kit June 2nd, so I actually ended up waiting a week to activate it because I wasn't at home when the kit arrived. So I had to activate it on July 2nd. They received it on July 7th. They received my kit when I shipped it back. It went into lab processing July 26th, so that was like a long time, like almost a whole month. And then I received my results back on August 12th. So it took 8 weeks from beginning to end of that process, and it probably would have took a little bit less time if I would have activated my kit and sent it off like as soon as I got it. But since I waited a week, it made the whole process take like 8 weeks. When I got my results back, everyone was kind of guessing about what it would be. I know that a lot of African Americans who do the test, it's around 70-ish% African, like West African, and 30-ish% European. So I thought mine was going to be the same. I just figured that it was going to be 70-ish% African, West African, 30-ish% European, and maybe a little bit of Native American because my grandmother's aunt is Native American, so maybe like a small percentage of Native American. But when I actually got the test back, I ended up being 92% African, 2% Native American, and 5% European, which breaks down to 3% Irish and 2% Great British and 1% Caucasus. And when I looked that up, that was kind of like in the region of Turkey and stuff like that. So yeah, and then when I break down the African region, it was 21% Cameroon/Congo, 17% Ivory Coast Ghana, 17% Senegal, 14% Benin/Togo, 13% Nigeria, and 7% Southeastern Bantu, and then 2% Mali, and less than 1% North Africa. Those are my results, and everyone was so shocked that I was 92% African, because having 92% of anything is really rare because it's so high. It's almost 100% of like one continent, which is crazy. I really was excited about that. And the 2% Native American was true. Like I said, my grandmother's aunt is Native American, so that means probably like her dad is Native American as well. So I guess that's kind of how it came down to me. And of course, all that West African, you know, West Africa was a large part of the slave trade and stuff like that. And I thought that I was 92% African because I am from South Carolina, and you know that Charleston, South Carolina was the largest, had the largest slave port in the country. So I thought maybe because from West Africa to Charleston and then my ancestors, I thought it was because I was like a direct descendant of those slaves probably. I was really excited to hear that. And I actually talked with someone named Erin Rachel Briley. We actually talked about my results. She's like really big into genealogy, so shout out to you, Erin, because you really helped me so much when I was trying to do this, trying to figure out my results, because I just wanted to know why my African percentage was higher than everyone else. I'm definitely not complaining. I think it's really cool, but I just wanted to know why when everyone else's was like 70 to 75-ish, mine was 92. I was talking to Erin about it, and this is what she had to say. She started off with the Native American. She said the Native American is popping up into my bloodline because I have a direct ancestor that married. I had a child with a Native American, as we know, my grandmother's aunt. She said that the reason that my heritage was so like highly African is because my ancestors basically had children with people, other Africans. Like there wasn't a lot of mixing with my ancestors, like as far as races or whatever. Like they kind of mix with the same region on both sides, because you know that Ancestry.com takes your mother's and your father's DNA. It doesn't separate it. I know with the other one, I think you have to choose a line to look at. I read somewhere that although a lot of African Americans think they have Native American in their DNA, that it's not always true, and I wanted to ask her about that, but she was just saying, of course, there's like a direct ancestor. She said a lot of Native Americans own land, and they either integrated African Americans into their tribe, or they kind of bought them to kind of free them. And I do know that some people on my grandmother's side did own land, and I don't know if that's from the Native American part, or like they just own land just like because. That's something I'm gonna have to look deeper into as I kind of explore this and stuff like that, to kind of see like who owned the land and what their heritage was. And then she also said that some Native Americans sided with the Confederates and did own slaves, and since I am from South Carolina, the big Confederate state, she said that's definitely a possibility. That's something that could happen in my bloodline as well. She was saying the Cherokee people had African slaves and integrated them in their tribe or whatever. So since my grandmother is Cherokee, that's probably one of the tribes that integrated with like maybe some other African Americans in my bloodline, and that's probably why I have Native American in my bloodline. I had such a small percentage of Irish. I think it was 2%. It could literally have been one person. The Irish were taken as slaves as well. She said that it could have been something where an Irish slave and an African American slave were kind of forced to breed together to have children, because a lot of that happened. Or it could be, you know, like one Irish person married another a black person in my bloodline, and they kind of chose to get married and have children. Or it could have been like a forced to breed thing, so it could be either one, but it was probably one person. As far as the other regions in Africa, because I did have some regions in Africa that weren't West Africa, could have been like a normal blending, like, you know, my people traveling to different regions, or there was war between the nations in Africa and they were selling each other to the Europeans for the slave trade, people that were stolen and captured from one region and taken to another. She said she thinks I can say with certainty that my ancestors were captured, sold to European slave trades, and sold again to American slave owners, and that since I have ancestors who were Irish, they're probably Irish slaves. There's a high possibility my relatives escaped and were taken by the Cherokee Nation, or that they were owned by the Cherokees and then integrated into their nation. And my ancestors are probably just Irish slaves, African slaves, and just purely African. And of course the whole story with the Native American, but she said that's probably really what my bloodline is made of. So yeah, that's pretty much all I know right now. I just kind of researched the stuff that she was telling me, and it definitely all seemed like they were definite possibilities. Of course I have to do more research about like who owned land and names and birth certificates and marriage certificates and all that kind of stuff. But I just think this is a good start. I definitely also want to do 23andMe and any of the other more specific DNA tests. If y'all have ever done any of the other ones, let me know which one I should do next. I know those are like $200 and so. So I definitely want to pick the right one when I do that one, because that one is going to be a lot more expensive. But yeah, I just really was excited to hear about being 92% African. I think that is just so cool. And I just want to learn more about it. I'm going to try to trace it as far back as I can. I know it's definitely going to be hard because my ancestors are slaves. I think me and my mom traced back like a great grandmother. Her name was Chastity, I believe. She doesn't have a last name on her certificate because she was a slave. So things like that are going to make it really hard to trace my ancestors. I'm still optimistic and excited. This information is definitely kind of overwhelming, and it's a little bit sad when you actually think about what happened to my ancestors and stuff like that. But I'm excited that I can kind of learn more about them. If y'all have any questions about my kits or my results, please leave it in the comment section below. Or if you think you have like other information that would be helpful to me as I kind of explore this a little bit more, or if you would like to see any other videos pertaining to this once I do the other kit, or once I find like some other information, please let me know as well. And thank you for tuning into this video, and I will talk to you in my next one. Bye.